everybody, so this is Vegietamato. My name is Tam, hence the Tam-ato, and I like tomatoes. And today I'll be teaching you some psychology facts, and I'll probably most likely describe it in depth. Not too in depth because I'm not that smart, but just enough so you get a basic understanding. While I'm talking, I'll be juggling these two highlighters and poking myself in the eye as I mess up. Have fun watching me fail. Alright. Again, I'm not an expert, I'm just a student learning psychology. So, yeah. So at the end of the video, I will be talking about, so at the end of the video, I will refer back to where I got all my information, and I'll tell you what book I got it from, and maybe you can read it. I'm not selling the book, I just happen to be using information from that book. Okay, so here we go. I'll be telling you, my bad. I'll tell you one of the rules out of, I believe, was it 7? Or was it 8? I forgot. But I'll tell you one of the rules that helps a person sell or get something that they want from someone else. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. It does not work all the time. It just helps. It makes it more efficient. Alright, okay. The rule I'm talking about, or will be explaining to you, is called the rule of reciprocation, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And basically what the rule states is if you give something to someone, they'll reciprocate by giving you something. In the case of selling and influence, it's if you give something to someone, they will buy something from you. And basically, so one day we were at school and you need help for math. Okay, so I help you with math because, you know, I'm nice like that. And later on, I happen to be selling tickets to a play after you've passed the math test. So what the rule of reciprocation states is you will be more likely to buy tickets from me if I were to ask you to help me sell them. You guys get what I mean? No? Okay. So, let's break this down. I helped you with math, and later you passed the math test. You know you couldn't have done it without me. And so I come up to you later and say, oh hey, what's a unisexual name? Hey Taylor, I'm selling tickets to a musical. I need to sell 10. Can you buy one from me? And in your mind, well, not in your mind, unconsciously, you're like, oh, well, she helped me earlier, so, whoops. And in your mind, you say, Tam, bleh. So in your mind, not consciously, but intuitively, you're like, well, Tam helped me with math, and without her, I couldn't have passed, so I'm gonna help her out. And instead of buying one ticket from me, you end up buying maybe 2 or 3. And so that's what the rule of reciprocation states. Another example, you may have seen this before, but with solicitors, did I pronounce that correctly? I think I did. You may have noticed that at some places, if you've traveled, you go to tourist areas, there are people walking around and handing out free stuff, like Like for example, I just poked my eye. For example, why can't I do this right now? Okay, so for example, in Japan, if I remember correctly, or remember what I've read correctly, there are solicitors who hand out free tissues and asking for a donation or for people to buy something from them. And these aren't just like one napkin sheets or anything. These are like those plastic tissue handout things. Most of the case it doesn't work anymore because, you know, people learn that it's not worth it or something or another. But tourists or other people who don't know better, they end up trying to give back the tissues or say, no, I don't want it. But if they're forcibly handed the tissues, then they're being given something and they can't help but feel the need to repay the person back. And so, because they feel the need to pay the person back, they end up buying or giving more money than what the tissue was worth. So that's basically what the rule of reciprocation states. I'm pretty sure there's more to it. Well, obviously there is more to it, but I'm just giving you guys the very basic. Again, I'm not that smart. I'm just telling you what I read and sharing it with you while obviously entertaining you by juggling two highlighters. If you believe I did not explain it too well, feel free to comment. If you believe that I didn't explain it well, or I didn't expand on the information well enough, feel free to tell me in the comments. Yeah, and feel free to make suggestions about how I can fix it, and I'll try to do better next time I explain something in the next video. Also, if you have a challenge for me, like if you've watched my other video of me having a pencil mustache and talking at the same time, or juggling highlighters, so if you have an idea of a challenge that I could do while talking in my next video, feel free to comment. So yeah. This is the part where I tell you where I got my information from. Well, I got my information from chapter 1 of a book called The Psychology of Persuasion, and the main title is Influence. The author is Robert B. Cialdini, if I pronounced his name correctly. Dr. Robert B. Cialdini, because he has a PhD. Am I doing that correctly? PhD equals doctor? Yeah. He has, yeah. Okay. Oh, and also if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have any suggestions of what I should talk about in my next video, feel free to make suggestions. If I'm interested in one of the suggestions, I'll search it up and try my best to learn it. And I'll talk about it in my next video. Yeah. Feel free to make a lot of suggestions. Alright, so, anyways, vegietamato out. And if you like me,